What's up YouTube, Jay Traveling here. Today I got my Asrock 6600xt here, and I'm going to talk about the RMA process that I had to do with it. And now I did get it back onto my rig. It's been mining for a few days now, mining Ethereum with my other 6600s and 6600XTs. So I'll talk about this process, what it was like to go through it. Then we'll get into the computer right here, and I will show you the rig mining. Now it's all my 3D printed stands like it was before. I just replaced it, put it back onto it. Now, there is 5 GPUs on that rig right now, but I do have different plans for that rig in the future. I'm keeping it and not getting rid of it, but I have some more cards on the way to add to it. But let's talk about this now. I purchased this for $430 after I bought it in a package and sold the motherboard that it came with it. It was $470 total for this GPU plus the motherboard. I ended up selling the motherboard real cheap for like 40 bucks. So I'm $430 into this card. Now, I'm not going to add the shipping that I had to pay to send this back to Asrock, but let's check out and let me talk to you about what I had to go through at least to get this shipped back and get a new card. Now, if you guys watched my previous videos, you'll know that when I did get this card, I had it up and running for about 24 hours and then it stopped powering on. Now, before I send stuff in for RMA, I like to diagnose stuff myself because maybe it's just something real small that could be affecting it, like a bad riser or power cable from the power supply, something like that. So I did change out my risers with 3 different ones, even ones that I had confirmed that were working, and still no power to the card. So then I changed the power cord that I used from the power supply because it was on a server power supply, so I changed the cord, and I even changed the one that I confirmed that was working. Still no power to this card. So then I put on my test bench here behind me, and still no power to the card. So obviously the card was malfunctioning, so I started the RMA process. So what I did was I actually went on Asrock's website, and I went and contacted them about it and filled out a little form. And then they contacted me back, said I had to go through Newegg because that's who I purchased it from. So I contacted Newegg, and obviously because this card sat for 6 to 8 weeks before I put it on the rig, it was outside of the return period. Now, I didn't want to return it anyway. I didn't want my money back. I wanted a new card. So I didn't really want to go down that path anyway. But I was hoping that they could just exchange it with a different Asrock 6600XT if they had one in stock or when they got one in stock. But instead they said I had to go through Asrock, but they gave me a different email for their RMA department. Now I emailed that person and they gave me a different link to their website to fill out a form where I put the serial number, the model, and I uploaded my invoice. So after that, within a couple days, I had the RMA number created and I had it shipped out. Now, within a week, they sent me another GPU. I'm assuming it's similar to EVGA's RMA. They don't just take the card and try and fix it. They got the card in, confirmed it was a 6600XT, and just shipped me out a different one because the serial numbers didn't match from the one I sent in to the one I got back. So I'm assuming they sent me a different new card. Now, other RMA processes, this one wasn't too bad. Not the easiest, but not the hardest. It was also fairly quick, which is nice. Other ones, such as Gigabyte, from what I hear, they're very terrible and it can take up to months just to get your card, and sometimes even just send you the same card back with the same issues. EVGA, on the other hand, I've RMA'd through them, and theirs aren't too bad. You just register it to your account, upload your invoice, and pretty much fill out the RMA form there and a little description of your findings and diagnosis, and they decide whether it's ready for RMA or not, or if they need to have you troubleshoot the card a little bit more or whatever the part is. But this now is back on the rig, and like I said, it's been mining for a few days now, so we will check it out in the computer here in 1 second, but it's been doing fairly well. I wanted to have it mining multiple days before making another video on it. Now, I'd say it's been up for about 5 days. 5 days, 18 hours according to HiveOS here. But let's go inside the computer right now and then we'll check it out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're inside the computer now. As you can see, my farm here, it's not too crazy, but pretty decent sized little farm I'm growing, and I'm still trying to expand it. So RebTech is the board that it is on, so I just named it RebTech. You can name these whatever you want, obviously. So let's go in, and here's the Asrock one, 32 mega hash a second right now. So if we actually remote in, obviously I've never done it on here before, and we check our miner. So it's GPU 0, I believe, is what is GPU 0 right here is what the Asrock one is, and it is on Team Red Miner. Obviously, you can see down here. Now the rig's doing pretty solid. My other 6600xt is doing roughly 32 mega hash a second also. And then this one's doing just over 32 mega hash. Now my 6600s are doing just under 29 mega hash a second. I have seen people get them to 29, but I was pretty comfortable with how stable this was, so I just left it where it was. But the overclocks on this 6600xt, we can look at them right here. So my core is set to 965 and my memory is set to 1135. Now you could also like check some popular presets, but it doesn't always give you the millivolts people are using when they do it, or some people just don't use it. But mine's set to VDD of 645, the VDDTI of 630, and the MV, the memory millivolts, the MVDD to 1300. Now, I did copy the same settings on my other 6600xt. Now, I don't know if I can push this memory any further to try and get more. I've seen some people get lucky and get closer to 33 mega hash, but not, I haven't seen anyone break 33 mega hash. I'm sure it may be possible. But I like to keep these cards stable. Now, one thing to look at is the power usage. It's reporting 46 to, this one's 42, but that one's really low, but it's reporting 48 watts for this card. Now, I did watch a Red Fox video where he actually separated his GPUs from the motherboard power using a watt meter just on his server power supply, and got roughly 67 watts per GPU / riser when he was running his 6600XTs. So I'm going to go with that as far as power. I'm not going to go at 48 because I think it's just a little low, and AMD tends to be a little bit lower when they're reporting power. But let's go ahead and we'll check out what to mine here. And we'll look. So I have 32 mega hash. I had already had it plugged in. 32 mega hash at 68 watts and 14 cents per kilowatt hour. So if we calculate that, I'm mining Ethereum, so I don't have anything else. Now this is Thanksgiving Day, the 25th of November. So this is calculating at the rate of $4,477 as far as what Ethereum is worth. So let me get my calculator here. And I said I'm $430 into this card and making $224 a day. So roughly 192 days to ROI this card. Now, do I think that's great? No, obviously. Earlier on when I was getting GPUs, my ROI days were much shorter. Now these cards are a little higher price for what I think they should be. Like $430 for this card, I think it's not terrible. If you're looking for a gaming card though, I would shy away from these and possibly try and get a 3060 or 3060 Ti. I think you're gonna get a better value there. Even with mining, you can get a better value. Now on Ethereum, they have the LHR cards, so obviously they're not fully unlocked, so you're going to run a lot of power to get the same amount of hash rate. So as far as Ethereum, these are very efficient cards, and if you're willing to wait that time to ROI, it's definitely a great card. They've been pretty stable for me so far, and I do plan on getting more of them. Now I will buy more 6600XTs as I can. Some of them are a little high price, so I can get up to like $600. I do not think it's worth paying $600 for one of them. But if you can get one for the 500 to sub 500 range for 6600, 6600XT, I think it's well worth the value as far as the mining capability and the ROI time. As long as I can keep an ROI time of under a year, I'm happy with that because I will run these cards nonstop for a few years at a time before I go to upgrade them to new ones. If you guys watch my other videos, you'll notice I did upgrade some of my rigs to make them a little more efficient and use less power, obviously, for hash rate. But, you know, that's my experience with RMAing this card. Asrock, I feel like, has a pretty good RMA department. pretty straightforward and fairly fast for what I experienced. If you guys had RMA problems in the past, I'd like to hear your comments in below. Who you had the RMA with, what company, what you did, was it a graphics card, motherboard, or anything? What your downtime was and how your experience was with that. Was it a straightforward, smooth process, or did they hassle you and nickel and dime you the whole time? But I'd like to hear in the comments below your guys' experience. But thanks for checking this video out. If you like this hoodie I'm wearing, check it out in the merch store below. But thanks for checking us out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.